action replays in magnified portion.
Heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will redo.
But to me, Corona means Italy. When they gaze upon Yosemites, the fleet. Salt water in their veins. You have that salt water. Don't let the doctors change it. Keep it. Because there's nothing like it. There's no blood like it. Water in anything having to do with sailing the oceans, there's nobody to compete. You were with us when it was not as nice.
Check one, check two. I think you guys can hear me. I think the mic is working all right. Be up in just a moment. Should be up on Insta. Should be up on Substack as well. Yeah, there we go. Hi, Instagram people. What's happening, Substack? It says I'm up on Substack on Restream, but I don't see it. It's pending until broadcast software connects. It is connected. Is Substack up? Let me know. Good Lord. Okay, up in just 1 minute. So much to cover again. All right, let's get started. Here we go. I think we can do this. Hopefully my camera works. It does. It works. Oh, good. Okay, so I'll go straight. Whoops, hold on. I'm not I don't know. That was weird. My software muted as opposed to the microphone. I'm like, the microphone's fine. I'm looking right at it. What the hey? And then something happened when I changed over to this scene, and it. So just forget everything I said. What I was saying was, interestingly enough, and it is fascinating. And yes, I am still drinking the same coffee from earlier. You know, I have to say, a word or two about espresso. If you're trying to lower your caffeine intake, I would say that espresso is one of the best ways to do it because you just can't chug it. That's one of the problems with all these big froofy, syrupy, sweet drinks that you can get at Starbucks and whatnot, is they, even a latte of sorts, they add things in to buffer the taste of the actual espresso. But if you take that buffer out, man, that takes some work. You know what I mean? So, looks like Dragon Blood. I have a bottle of Dragon Blood well, we'll talk about that later. So, yeah, you might need one. So, yes, why would you want to buffer that? Yes, some people are coming in late. The sound will kick in just one moment. But, I mean, it doesn't have to, it's not just Starbucks. I'm not picking on Starbucks. It's specifically like any place that makes flavored coffees, anything they add to coffee or to soften the blow, whether it's sugar and milk or whatever. Straight espresso will, it'll dole out your caffeine in a lesser dose over, I guess, a longer period of time, to the point where, what do you think that is, including melted ice? I probably had one shot of espresso from this since this morning. So clearly, I mean, at this point, I might just be drinking melted ice with with varying levels of coffee flavoring added in. I think that's probably what it is. Hello. Cold brew, oh man, half a 16-ounce in Zoom. Yeah, well, that would be the thing. That's why they're doing those sweet cream cold foam cold brews and that kind of stuff to soften the blow of the cold brew. I make my own cold brew. I have one of those glass cold brewers that you have, whatever, that I got a long time ago. It works great. So, sounds up. We're all good. We're fine. Okay. Lots to talk about today. And what I was saying before, by the way, before I was so rudely interrupted by technology, was that I notice a lot of the channels on Twitch and YouTube that are very popular look like shit. Asmongold's show, Destiny, who else? Hamas Abi, that dickhead. Their shows look like shit. And the millions of subscribers. I mean, the content is ass. So obviously people are showing up just for what it looks like. I've just decided maybe I don't even play clips, or maybe I'll put clips in a tiny little block right here. And I suppose I should shrink myself down. Hold on. Let me put this up here. Take this guy. That's me. I'll just put myself down here in a corner and go, bro, nothing, bro, what? Fucking what? Bro, what? Like, that's the show, basically. That's the current state of streaming news. Hey, but you can't argue with success. They're very rich people. They got lots of money, and and they certainly aren't spending it on production value. Why would they, I guess? You know what I mean? If it's working the way it is. I just have this thing about, like, I could not embarrass myself by showing up to work and it looking like that every fucking day. And they're like, oh, I'm embarrassing myself all the way to the bank. Okay, fine, dude. Let's see if you're still doing that when you have gray hair. When you're, when you've got some age on you. Because it might look cute when you look, at best, early to mid 30s, but man, it's got to start looking kind of embarrassing, don't you think? When you hit 40, still just like a little chat thing up in the corner and a giant like cutout of someone else's work and a bunch of tabs showing. Maybe it's just me. And you know what? If it's just me, fucking fine. I'll be the only one with production quality. I am fine with that. This is as ugly as my show will ever look, because you got to have some standards. By golly, by gosh, it bugs me that the Venmo is so that people know it's a Venmo can't cover over that thing, and that if I squeeze it too small and get it too far into the in another place, it doesn't work. It's too small on the screen to even take a picture with. So I just leave it up there and whatever. But even that's like aesthetically, it just bugs me. But I'm limited in what I can do. Maybe you know what I need to do? I need to get a lower third that covers almost my entire mic that's very big. And then the Venmo can be in a little picture right here. And then I'll have more room for what my name might say and stuff like that. I like it. All right. So maybe I'm touchy about this because the set I built, the Mars set, was for some reason there was a glitch in OBS, and I could open it, but I couldn't change from screen to screen. I don't know why. Makes no sense. Everything else was fine. Still won't do it. Don't get it. The buttons all work everywhere else. It's what I deal with. Now, speaking of things you have to deal with, ladies and gentlemen, let me move this down here. Whoops. Where are we? See, that's what happens when I'm worried about shit looking ugly, and then I forget to stretch out my images and that kind of stuff from the morning show. Okay. I think this is the clip of Laura Ingraham having Kash Patel on. Is this? Yeah, it is. To cover his ass. We saw a little bit of this. I don't know how much more of it we will want to see, but I just want to see this dude. Like, this is, I love the apology tours when he's just out there. Maybe this is an audience of one clip. We'll see. We got a lot of stuff to cover, so if it's not interesting right away, fuck him.
Here to discuss is FBI Director Kash Patel. Mr. Director, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Where does this investigation tonight stand?
Well, first and foremost, our prayers to the family of the fallen soldier and our prayers to the family of hopefully this individual who continues to recover. This is
the National Guard troop. This would be also a soldier or whatever. Maybe you don't know their name. Maybe that's the problem.
Sprawling international terrorism investigation that the FBI is leading out on, and we are making sure to work
leading out
with our interagency partners, and I've already issued dozens of pieces of legal processes, dozens of devices already.
I've signed lots of pieces of paper. I don't understand at all things written. I wrote something on a napkin earlier, and also they gave me a stamp when I got the job. Whapack! Arrest someone. Whapack!
They hit 2 houses and interviewed many individuals associated with the subject.
They hit 2 houses. Just like Venezuelan fishing boats, you just bomb 2 houses in the Virginia area.
And that investigation is going to continue on to anyone and everyone this person ever spoke to.
That's a lot.
We're not going to leave any...
Really? You're literally... This is... are you sure we have the resources for everyone they ever spoke to? Maybe I'd call me nuts, and who am I to say I'm not the FBI director? But maybe narrow your focus to people they've spoken to with knowledge of, or participation in, or foreknowledge or awareness of the plot to do this, if there was one indeed, or anything leading up that was signs that did it, or support, or anything like. I narrow it down to about, I don't know. What do you think? Max 72 people, probably minimum about 8.
Unturned. We're going to collect the evidence. We're going to hand it off to our partners at DOJ and make sure he's prosecuted to the full extent of the law, and anyone else that was responsible for this vicious, heinous attack will be held to the same account.
Now, today...
do you think any other FBI would just go, look, the National Guard are here, you win some, you lose some.
The DHS...
This dickhead's patting himself on the back for how hard he's working. How many more are these of these? The private jet's already fueled up and ready to go. My girl and I are going to UFC tonight. Okay. I mean, how much paperwork is there for 2 dead National Guard? Oh, one of them's not dead? Oh, okay.
Secretary Noem suggested that the suspect was radicalized here in the United States. What more can you tell us? Because that's what our viewers want to learn a lot about.
Oh, yeah. And that's what they come to Laura for, is to learn a lot of things. They want knowledge, details, reality.
Yes, and we'll speak to that publicly in our documents in court. That is a very much ongoing piece of our investigation.
Do you ever get the feeling that someone is just like quoting shit they've seen other people say, just repeated, like they've watched enough Law and Order, or they've watched enough congressional hearings, and they watched other people really do their congressional hearings well and go, okay, what do they say to get out of this shit? I just blather. This is very much, we're putting our foot forward in the most forward-looking way to deal with this kind of thing at the highest levels of the most things that we can possibly, fullest extent, and we'll guarantee that we will look at all the angles that are definitely present here. But we are committed to understanding that'll be part of our ongoing, as I understand it to be.
Where and how he was radicalized, and we're working with our partners at DHS and everywhere else to make sure we speak in court with crystal clarity and unity, and we'll be doing so soon.
You're going to speak in court with crystal clarity. Not this muddled bullshit from these other dipshits Trump puts in charge of things. We're not going to let them slip through our fingers like Comey and Ray.
And the vetting process, Mr. Director, we raised red flags.
That's Madam Director to you. I don't have to remind you that he wears a women's medium.
About this back in 2021 on the angle, but that OIG report from 2022 says there were serious issues with the ability to vet Afghan refugees after that botched.
It's the same, by the way, same report, same people that are involved in the report that's shitting on him for his jacket stuff. Same people. The Office Inspector General, they reached out to the same people in the present and former FBI about these kind of things, how things are normally supposed to work, whether they're failing or not, what to compare it to. Has it always been this fucked up or whatever? Right.
Fallout from Afghanistan. And one bill has already been introduced in Congress would mandate that all refugees be re-vetted. Do you think that is a good idea? Your reaction tonight to that?
They should be super vetted. Let's mega vet them. Especially the toddlers. Anybody with a wife and children, and the children are under the age of 10. Ask those kids some tough questions.
You hit it on the head. The problem with this case shows the emblematic failure of the Biden administration.
Sorry, real quick. The what?
The problem with this case shows the emblematic failure of the Biden administration.
Emblematic failure. Do you mean it's emblematic of the failures by the thing, or you meant systemic, but you couldn't think of it because your brain is tapioca because apparently Trump's syphilis is airborne?
That anyone who came here from Afghanistan after the disastrous withdrawal.
Yeah, they did. You had American soldiers fighting specifically for people that worked with them. That would constitute a version of vetting, I think, especially if they were bringing their families.
Zero. It's not like people were even partially vetted. They refused to do so. So it now falls to us in this administration to make sure we vet every single person that came in here legally or illegally or otherwise.
We're vetting everybody. Citizens, anybody. Look, I don't care if you came to America via your mom's vagina. We have some questions. This motherfucker is we're starting from scratch on everything. I don't know where anything goes.
Make sure there is no derogatory or criminal information or terrorist ties, and we are going to do that mission.
Mission. I like saying the word mission. It makes me look like I don't wear a women's medium raincoat.
And Mr. Director, another big issue that is concerning Americans, and it involves the refugee community, but in Minnesota, is the Treasury Department's investigation of that massive fraud there in the Somali community. So how is the FBI...
Yes, 86,000 Somalis in the general Minnesota area, 86,000. About 87% are naturalized citizens. They're not refugees. They're not here, with under an asylum case that's pending.
By working that, and what can you tell us tonight, given the plethora of reporting and the...
And while you're talking about it, can you tell us about Marjorie Taylor Greene's PPP loan that she didn't pay back, and she used some of the money to pay for her campaign, which is illegal? And is that have any reason why she's leaving, or is it really just because you've been redacting the Epstein files? Sorry to interrupt, but please.
Defensive posture of both the mayor and the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz.
Yeah, so defensive, trying to defend all the innocent Somalis from blanket attacks against them by the right wing because of the actions of some. Right.
What I can tell you is the FBI let out on an investigation, and we publicized it months ago. We've got 78 people that have been arrested.
Holy shit. 1 second, hold on. I should probably stick to the ones in, where is it? Yeah, I should probably stick to just Minneapolis, but let's see. Let's see. There are 260,000 Somalis living in the United States. Sorry. Okay. 260,000. And how many?
I let out on an investigation, and we publicized it months ago. We've got 78 people that have been...
78 people. And there's 260,000 Somalis. Okay. And sorry, how many was that again? 260,000 Somalians living.
The FBI let out on an investigation, and we publicized it months ago. We've got 78 people that have been arrested.
78, which is less than the 86 that they said last week, I guess. Yeah.
Pursuant to our investigation along with the interagency. And that investigation...
Pursuant to our investigation, along with the interagency and also cooperation between our local law enforcement partners to make sure that we are dotting our I's and crossing our I's.
It's very much ongoing. We are not finished. It was one of the largest fraud scams ever committed in the state of Minnesota history.
In the state of Minnesota history. Which, I mean, look, many of us think Apollonia 6 was ripped off and that they were, they would have dwarfed the time even over a certain amount of, but I don't want to go there. I'm going to get upset. That's the problem I have with the discussion about Minneapolis right now. Prince was a god. God damn it.
And we are going to continue to interview and subpoena anyone involved with this case. It is very much ongoing and live.
Interview and subpoena anyone involved in this case. And what's your status for what's the qualification for being involved? Is it just Somalians? Is it just Minnesotans? Is it anyone who's seen the movie or series Fargo? I mean, I'll do a lot check. I'm gonna check the darn car.
There are a lot of foreign interests that seem to be causing trouble in the United States.
Like, you mean like Russia? Like Russia specifically interfering, like creating fake accounts on X that pretend to be giant MAGA accounts with millions, if not, hundreds of thousands of, if not millions of supporters or followers, or whether those are real or not, don't get me started. That are driving the political discourse and giving maggots the illusion that they have a lot more support than they do, or that they're, busy dunking on people and causing conflict in the United States. And it turns out they're from fucking Russia, Eastern Europe, Africa. Yikes, right?
And I know the FBI today announced that Chinese national pled guilty to smuggling dangerous pathogens into Michigan. In a student at the University of Michigan, that individual has been deported, a Chinese national.
Yeah, because that's the Trump standard. Bring a deadly pathogen into the United States with the intent of attacking our food supply, and you get a free flight home with a drink coupon. Yeah.
The question is, it seems like kind of a slap on the wrist deporting her back to China. A lot of people...
Yeah, it kind of does. It seems less like a slap on the wrist. It seems like a fucking favor, since she's going to get a hero's welcome.
On social media wondering, why didn't she do...
It's like if China tried to nuke Michigan, and the nuke landed without detonating, and we gave it back to China and just said, hey, you dropped this. You know, it didn't work. You might want to tinker with it for a while.
Jail time, or did you seek jail time here for her?
I gotta tell you, I don't know if that's fear in his eyes or he's like tapping the mute button every time he's, yeah.
Given the potential danger, sir, to our food supply, if this pathogen...
Yeah, it's weird. It's as if Laura can't allow certain bullshit to get past her because she'll lose her job.
got out.
Look, I can only speak to the FBI's mission, and we've already arrested her along with multiple other individuals, including as recently as this past week, on related charges. And we're going to continue to arrest those individuals. And how the State Department and others deal with that matter is something.
Yeah, the State Department doesn't make a choice to deport someone that the DOJ can charge. The DOJ has to make a decision to charge them or not. And obviously, if they're guilty of something like this, they're either going to be charged, put in jail, or charged and deported. Or charged, put in jail, and then after they serve their time, deported, which is what it should be.
Thing that I would defer to them on.
Yeah, and Mr. Director, Democrats, and I know you know this, some never Trump Republicans, are salivating over a new report first obtained by the New York...
Okay, here it comes. This is you knew it was coming to bite you in the ass.
Host Miranda Devine, she came on last night, talked about it, that takes aim at the FBI under your leadership and that of your deputy, Dan Bongino. So you had current, some former FBI staffers, all anonymous, put together this 115-page report.
Because of fear of retaliation by dipshit and company.
And now, there was some very positive stuff in there, but the overall read was that the agency had become...
Yeah. Hey, dipshit, real quick. Real fucking quick. All right. Stop. I know what I need. I need, where is it? I have to have it's got to be in here somewhere. That's not what I want. I know. Where is it? Son of a bitch. Yeah, this is what I need. Stop right there. All right. What were the positives in that report, which I read, by the way, and I read a good portion of it on the show earlier this morning, the 115-page report on how it's a rudderless ship and how he's a glory-seeking dickhead and all that stuff, everything we knew. What really stood out? What was the positive Laura is talking about? The elimination of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion in hiring and positioning and promoting within the FBI. And they were very happy, these folks, both in and out, that they had gotten rid of that and that it was causing a lot of stuff. And let me tell you something, that very group wouldn't want her or him in charge of shit. He's a fucking DEI hire. He's completely unqualified. I would argue that it's borderline just like cronyism. Trump was rewarding one of his, lapdog supporters. But the fact that he is a brown person, a person of color, and he was given a job he is wholly unqualified for is exactly why the people that had a problem with DEI in the FBI were mad that it was instituted. And this is the fact that it's being called a rudderless ship is proof positive in their minds that Trump is engaging in DEI by hiring this dickhead, and they never want someone like her in charge. You understand? Women and people of color work twice as hard to get where you're going, and because they don't like that. That's the one part where they're like, this is pretty good. Except for that one big DEI hire. That's what they're talking about. Is that clear, chat room? Yeah. That is, I read through it. The one part where they're like, thank God DEI is gone. That's what she means. And the irony that she is talking to exactly the kind of person they're talking about when they're like, can we get rid of this DEI horseshit? Why are unqualified people of color being put into these positions? Because if we go against them, we will be decried as racist or bigots. Fucking hell. But derp.
Rudderless, and that you're more focused on your social media than doing your job. Now, I assume that these are just bitter deep staters, but what is your general reaction to...
I assume these are liars because they're the people who actually served in the FBI and put their lives on the line for decades in some cases and are currently doing it. And I assume those people are full of shit. But a former podcaster and a sycophant of the president being put at the top of the FBI, you're going to defer to this motherfucker.
These concerns raised about the state of the FBI 10 months into the Trump administration, part 2.
Yeah, look, anonymous sources always lie, results don't. And I'll get to the results in a second. These anonymous sources were individuals from the Comey Ray era that weaponized the Department of Justice.
No. You can't assert that everyone who's still an FBI agent who served honorably for years through multiple heads changing, Comey or Ray or I don't know, some of them been in there for 30 years. You can't automatically say these people are from the Ray era. They weren't hired by him. They joined. This is not like the administration where you just find a bunch of fucking suck-ups and put them in positions of power. The FBI normally, except when this fucker and Bongholio are put in charge of things, they grow from within the ranks. So these people serve years. Again, endangering their lives to earn the patches on their shoulders and the fucking right to wear a Ray jacket. And this motherfucker cosplaying it and going, these fucking people eat shit.
And cratered the public trust in the FBI.
No, they didn't. You did. You did. Donald Trump and all of his minions attacking the FBI is what made right-wingers finally attack the FBI when the left largely had been dealing with stuff since fucking the 60s, that they had their issues with the FBI. That's what the tipping point was, that right-wingers suddenly started becoming anti-cop, anti-FBI because they were going after Trump because he's fucking guilty. He's an unrepentant sexual assaulter and a molester and was Jeffrey Epstein's fucking wingman for a quarter century, and he's a fraud. He committed financial fraud, actively chose to do it.
To something that was at levels that have never been seen. 35% public trust in the FBI when we came in 10 months ago. And now we're to believe that these anonymous sources...
Yeah, because maggots were against it.
...are the ones accusing this FBI, the most successful in history, of being...
No, not the most successful in history. Nonsense. Bullshit. Fuck you. Shame on you. How dare you besmirch the decades of the FBI doing all kinds of great work over the decades, never set aside the issues that they have had, but all the good work that they have done. The idea that this asshole's like, I came in fucking 6 months, I'm the best ever. Piss off.
Let's just look at the results. If we were so rudderless and we sent our mission out into the country and around the world, how would we have arrested 25,000 violent felons this year alone? That.
One moment, please. Sorry. Let's hear that again. And then I want to share, fuck me. Then I would like to share something with you.
And around the world. Results. If we were so rudderless and we sent our mission out into the country and around the world, how would we have arrested 25,000 violent felons this year alone?
25,000 violent felons this year alone. How in the world were Well, the FBI arrests a significant number of individuals for violent crimes each year, but the exact number of arrests for violent felons specifically is not precisely tracked in public FBI data. However, FBI statistics show that nationwide, law enforcement made approximately 521,103 arrests for violent crimes in 2018 and 495,871. The difference is that the locals and the states usually make the arrest. The FBI helps catch the person, but the charges are largely not federal. Same in all these things. Even in the case of, like, he's going to count Tyler Robinson, for example. But he was arrested by the locals because it's a local crime that they helped with. I'm certain that, let's see, breakdown of violent crimes. Let's see, FBI persons arrested. FBI's Uniform Crime Reporting Program control. Okay, that's the amount of data on there. Criminal alien statistics. FBI chief dismissed Rutherford County touts record 25,000. Yeah, that's what he's talking about here. Crime Data Explorer. With users going to yep. Our FBI arrest public record. No. You can request your own record or information from the FBI. So you can just make up any number he wants. Make a request through the FBI's FOIPA. National Crime Database thing, which is not open to the public, of course. All right. So, how many were last year? Probably the same, about the same. How many the year before that? Probably about the same.
That's twice as many as last year alone.
Because you're taking credit for twice as many as last year alone. The FBI last year didn't take credit for local arrests that they even participated in.
How would we have arrested 35% more spies from Russia, China, and Iran than last year alone? How would we have...
Because there are more of them because they thought they would be okay. Also, did you arrest them or did you process them to go to the DOD? I mean, the DOJ. The DOD doesn't exist anymore. Let's see. FBI arrests spies. 33, what is it, 33%? Nope. Nope. Okay, maybe not.
Found 6,000 children and identified them. That's up 22% from last year alone. We have taken down criminal networks and those that wish to do harm to our children. We have arrested in the 764 category, the nihilist violence extremist network, a 590% increase on those who wish to prey on our children.
Okay, notice how we're not getting hard numbers. We got the 6,000 number with the exploited children, but again, that's a fairly common number. Up 22% from last year alone, citation needed. But you'll notice a lot of times he's just giving the percentage up 531%. So there was one person and then they got, 5 more and one pled down.
Those are just some examples, and I haven't even...
Those aren't examples.
...to the monumental success on...
Okay, FBI states, so these are the ones that put up. 25,000 violent crime arrests. Espionage arrests up 35%. 6,000 children located and rescued up 22%. Is that... Okay, the NVE arrests up 49%. 1.9 thousand fentanyl... 1.9 thousand fentanyl seized up 31%. 1.9 thousand doesn't seem like a lot. Also 1.9 thousand what? Tons?
Fentanyl, where we shut off precursors from China and have seized enough...
They have not shut off precursors from China. Fentanyl is still as easy to get as it was this time last year.
Fentanyl, 22% increase this year alone, enough to kill 127 million Americans.
Interesting that they have this up as he's saying it. Now, I guess maybe they pre-taped the show tonight so they were able to get ahead of it, but most of or they did this interview earlier and they pumped it in, but it sure looks like propaganda. It sure looks like Patel's office sent some stats over. Put these on the screen while I'm talking with crime tape and cop lights. So, because Fox News people like that.
Crushing violent crime. We're defending the homeland. When Dan and I got here, it was a rudderless ship. But we re-executed this mission. We defanged the weaponization that corrupted it. We jettisoned
Yeah, not according to the report.
those like these anonymous sources in this reporting, and all they have to talk about is anonymous sources and jackets and leather patches. They can have that all day long. The mission of this FBI is to serve the American people, and we are doing it at a level that has never been done before because of the leadership we have here, and thanks to President Trump's sweeping victory that demanded this place be.
And his shit-ass poll numbers that apparently the victory did not help buoy for any length of time.
Of weaponization and put it back on a course to prosecuting criminals, investigating criminals, and putting away terrorists. And that's what we are doing.
As the FBI investigates, hence the name, and they detain. They will, I suppose, arrest some folks on federal charges, but the DOJ charges people, not the FBI. The FBI is the investigative arm. U.S. Marshals usually take people into custody.
Every single day here.
You mentioned the thing about the patches and the gossipy stuff, which I know you laughed it off on Twitter, but on X. But they're saying, oh.
Yeah, that's what the rest of us are doing, laughing at you.
He refused to get off the plane in Utah after Charlie Kirk's assassination because he wanted a better fitting FBI raid jacket.
No, one at all, which he doesn't deserve the word raid on the back of it anyways. Like, isn't it? When is it not enough to just be the fucking director of the FBI?
Is that true? And does fashion really make the man, Cash?
It's 100% false. As you know, look, Laura, sadly, I was at 9/11 at Ground Zero in New York City on 9/11 because.
Yeah. So I think I got the date down.
I was a White House representative honoring those victims and their names being read. You were very familiar with that. Then we made the immediate decision after.
How? Also, why would you even need to go to the site of Charlie Kirk that you're not an investigator?
Charlie got shot in the neck, to fly to Utah unexpectedly to lead the manhunt to find the perpetrator in less than 33 hours because the FBI cut video, put it out in a press conference, and these people are worried about what.
Sorry, were you there to help edit? What'd you do? Use CapCut, you dumb motherfucker?
I was wearing and what patches I was wearing. I was honoring my men and women at the FBI. One of my.
No, you were not. You were borrowing their valor.
Agents
You were stealing valor from them.
Me a jacket and said, "Hey, boss, you should probably wear this. We're going into the command center." I said I'd be honored to wear that. And
welcome to Conversations That Never Fucking Happened.
And another one handed me the SWAT team badge of the unit that was protecting the area where Charlie was assassinated. I wore that with pride. These people can talk about my.
Why? How do you wear? Oh, you know how you wear it with pride? If you fucking earned it. It's not a participation trophy, you dumb motherfucker.
Appearances all they want, but look at the results. The FBI, this FBI, my FBI, the one that Dan and I are building here under President Trump, is succeeding in ways that no FBI has ever done so before.
It's just fucking gibberish.
So the institutionalists.
Tell that to Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols.
The anonymous reporters from the swamp DC bureaucracy are the ones.
Yes.
We are crushing. And that's how I know we're winning. And if Eric Swalwell wants to come online and talk about what jacket size I wear, I'm happy to send him a women's medium so him and Fang Fang can go out again.
And the Democrats are also, Mr. Director, supposedly going to investigate your use of the FBI jet, because they're claiming you've commandeered it for a personal joyride. Going to a wrestling event, I guess, for your girlfriend.
How else is he supposed to get there? Fly coach? It's fucking dangerous.
Is that true? And if so, if the Biden team did something like that, if it was true, I'd probably be hitting them tonight on television. But I thought I'd give you a chance to respond to that drive-by.
Yeah.
Would you cradle their balls while they lied all over your forehead?
It's simple. The FBI director, all FBI directors are required users of the FBI plane. They don't let me fly commercially. But my predecessors wasted millions of dollars because they were too lazy to drive an extra 20 minutes and go to Andrews Air Force Base. They used DC Reagan National as their personal hub, costing the taxpayer $4 million. I shut that policy off and mandated the use of government air.
You moved the plane closer
Fields.
so you could leave whenever you wanted to.
I've also used the airplane less than my prior two predecessors. And yes, I'm entitled.
Yeah, but they were also engaged in actual outreach to law enforcement agencies instead of flying in to take credit for what they're doing.
To a personal life, just like my other agency had
Yeah, he's entitled to a personal life. Come on, guys.
counterparts with their partners. So do I support my girlfriend? Absolutely. And do I take trips with her? Absolutely. But when they're talking about raid jackets and Velcro and FBI plane use, they are not talking about the facts, because they know this FBI is succeeding in ways prior leadership failed. And those cronies will always stick together and, of course, band together.
Also, just gibberish, just like making up things out of whole cloth. Like, yeah, and again, they're in a situation where I wouldn't necessarily trust their numbers anyways, but even still, the numbers aren't that impressive. They're well within the normal range of up and down years for big arrests and that kind of stuff, and are arguably lower than they were in, say, 2022 or 23.
With their enemies to come in and attack us. And our mission here is to protect the American people. Let me tell you one more stat that the American people are going to love. This FBI is on course to deliver the lowest murder rate in modern history by double digits. The lowest murder rate in modern history by double.
Sorry, what? The FBI is responsible for the lack of murders? You guys only police like serial murder. How? What the fuck does that? No, that. Sorry, where all the people are, if the murder rate is going down, you don't get credit for that. The fucking Chicago, Baltimore, New York, LA, San Francisco, all those places, their murder rates are coming down. You don't get to claim that it was you that did it. Have you not stolen enough valor from your fellow FBI agents that you are now going to steal it from local law enforcement and the citizenry?
Digits. That's because we're out there in cities like Memphis leading the charge, in places like St. Louis and Miami and New York and elsewhere across the country.
Wait, sorry, you think people are not murdering because there's an FBI agent on the fucking corner?
Delivering the mission first mindset and putting agents in power in the
warrior ethos, etc. Also Hegseth words.
field to make these arrests. You cannot have these results if you focus on what the media wants to write about you or what the Democrats want to investigate.
Sure you can. You don't actually do anything. If anything, the field offices are kicking ass. What's the policy difference? That literally was, I mean, besides diverting people from child trafficking investigations to and handing them over to fucking Kristi Noem and that crowd for DHS to use to chase down immigrants. Many of whom, by the way, who are here illegally. What's the big shift in policy that you're going to say you're going to credit with lowering the murder rate? Notice you don't hear any of that.
I am the only FBI director to turn over information related to travel, and that information shows one thing. I am a steward of the taxpayer dollars. My predecessors weren't.
One moment, please. I'm going to guess that would be part of oversight and always disclosed. Yeah, there we go. So, FBI directors are required to use use government aircraft for all travel. Now, it does not mean, by the way, that they have to use the FBI jet. They can use other government. If there's a fucking military plane going in that direction, they can fucking catch a ride. The IRS has planes. If they're going to the West Coast, there's plenty of fucking planes going to and fro all over the country that are federal, you can catch a ride on one of those. For security reasons. For non-official travel, they must reimburse the government at the cost of a commercial flight. While specific details of personal travel are not publicly disclosed to protect the director's security, official accounting records exist, and legislative bodies can demand them for transparency, such as the Hills report on Kash Patel's travel. Required use. The policy requires FBI directors to use government aircraft for all travel, including personnel trips, to ensure the security and ability to maintain secure communication in emergencies. Reimbursement. Directors must reimburse the government for the cost of a commercial flight for any personal travel. The director has discretion over how often to use the government aircraft for personal travel, but the reimbursement is mandatory. While the specific purpose of the flight is not public, flight logs are kept and records can be requested by Congress, notes The Intercept and Courthouse News. Oversight. Publicly available information, such as flight logs and open source intelligence, can be used by journalists and oversight committee to scrutinize travel, as shown in reports by The Hill, The Intercept, and Courthouse News. So, no, he isn't the only person to disclose it. He's been called out on it. He's defensive about it. That's not being defensive is not transparency.
They couldn't drive 20 extra minutes on every trip. I'll drive an extra hour if it saves the taxpayer an extra few bucks.
No, you don't.
Eric Swalwell has zero credibility on anything given his past. Mr. Director,
Hey, moron. We're not talking about Eric Swalwell's past, where he responded to the FBI saying that this person was a spy properly and ejected her and stopped all communications. We're talking about this guy's current situation. Did Swalwell continue to date Fang Fang? Did he marry her? Does he keep her in a love nest somewhere? Is that the allegation? That it's been an ongoing thing? Absolutely not. So we're talking about the ongoing behavior of this person.
viewers also are just, they're chomping at the bit on why it took the Epstein files so long to be released. Any
They haven't been.
regrets there? Was that an unforced error? Just should we have gotten them out earlier? Just get them all out there? Just thought
Just in case you forgot who he was. I have a better picture, though, I think. Hold on. Might be better if I do this. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, where's this? It's a good one. How about... let's go with... Yeah, this one works. I'll take this guy. Open image, a new tab. There we go. I'll take this guy. We'll shrink it down. And then I'll just have to make it smaller, I guess. I'm going to try to, yeah, do like that. How big is it? Okay, that's pretty reasonable in size. Excuse me, folks. I'm just doing a little bit of... there we go. How about this? That's a little better. Just, you know, because I'm trying to help Laura out. I mean, she should have up-to-date stuff, right? I'll shrink this down. There we go. Bring this down here, and I just got to clean it up a little. You know what I mean? I can't be like Hamas Abi and these other dickheads phoning it in. All right. Sorry, you were saying.
give you a chance to react to that.
Yeah, look, this FBI has produced 40,000 pages of documents to Congress. To put that in comparison, Wray put out 13,000 in 7 years, and Comey put out 3,000. We're committed to transparency. We're putting out as much as we can that is lawful and that is not prohibited by court orders. And
oh yeah, court orders. Which what court are we talking about? Trump-appointed judge, maybe?
those are the things the DOJ is fighting still with judges in court to make sure we can reveal everything without breaking.
Oh, sorry, so Pam Bondi is fighting with judges right now to release more of the stuff because desperately she wants it all to come out.
The law, and that's what we're committed to doing. We're doing it as fast as we can, and we're going to keep doing it, not just on this, but you know about Arctic Frost because of this FBI's discovery of the illegal surveillance of senators and staffers. You know about Russiagate because of mine and Devin's work from back in day, and we're going to continue
back in day
those investigations.
Sorry, I mean, that's rude. I mean, he should be on camera, but...
You bet. We have ongoing criminal investigations on both those fronts because the guy who launched Russiagate, me, as a senior staffer back in House Intel, is now the director of the FBI, and I'm not going to end this mission without destroying and leveling the full weaponization that occurred before I got here.
Oh, it's terrible.
Finally, I know you got to go, but are you hopeful about the future of the FBI given that institutional resistance and given the fact that there are obviously still deep state actors working against you, are you hopeful?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm more than hopeful. What I don't listen to is the swamp, and you know that better than anybody. What I do listen to is when I travel across the country and the communities of men and women around the country are coming up to us, not just the FBI employees, but the community saying, we have never felt...
Yeah, I'm certain that people are, that are able to talk to you as the FBI director who just randomly bump into you on the street are just blowing smoke up your fucking keister. Not like carefully vetted ass-kissing crowds and individuals who you already know are on the team, like Trump's little fucking cabinet gaggles.
Safer. We appreciate the work you're doing, especially safeguarding our children and our youth and our national...
Yeah, that's what they just generally say. Like when he's in the mall.
security and putting violent offenders in prison where they belong. I listen to the...
You don't put people in fucking prison. You don't. The DOJ does, or doesn't, and then Trump pardons them like a fucking Honduran drug dealer.
voices of Americans across the country. So does this administration. What I do not listen to and never will listen to is the witchcraft that goes on in Washington, D.C.
The witchcraft? Is this you pushing back against the Christians like Candace Owens that are upset because you said "see you in Valhalla" to Charlie Kirk?
Because that's all they have left, and they're going to sell their pamphlets and try to raise money off of it. But my mission and this
What? Selling pamphlets?
mission of the FBI has never been stronger, and we are going to execute it every single day. Hope is
Boom. Tough talk from a tough guy and a ladies' medium jacket.
not a strategy. The mission of this FBI that we've laid out is.
Mr. Director, great to have you on. Don't be a stranger. Thank you.
Didn't she have sex with Dinesh D'Souza? Didn't Laura Ingraham and Dinesh D'Souza knock boots? I don't know which end of that is more horrifying, but yikes. All right, so that's his like they let him come on Fox News and do a little CYA. Now Bongholio apparently is responding, according to Benny Johnson, this little fella who has all the AI thumbnails. Apparently, sorry, is he yelling and making Kash Patel cry? What? Why is Kash Patel crying? Wait. Does this asshole check his thumbnails before he posts them? Is that... What? That's amazing. All right, let's find out. Maybe he's got reason to cry. Maybe something... Did Bongholio say that, the quiet part out loud?
What the hell is it? What do you want?
Spenny, the FBI isn't perfect. It is a deeply and endemically corrupt institution.
Well, it is now, I guess.
Can any man fix the FBI? I'm not sure.
Well, first we would need to know that Kash Patel is an actual man in the truest sense of the word, not just an adult biological male.
But they can at least take some good advice. Upon Dan Bongino and Kash Patel's appointment to FBI director and deputy director, I posted this about 1 year ago, approximately 1 year ago today. I said, I'll say what we're all thinking. Her first. Fire her first. Set the tone right here. The dumpy DEI diversity agent at the FBI, no doubt.
No doubt who could bench press you.
The first physical activity in a very long time for this agent, kneeling to the
Challenger to a shooting competition.
BLM rioters and George Floyd terrorists, pledging fealty to them.
Or no, showing respect for, people that have been killed that didn't deserve to die, I think is the idea.
It's an absolute banger here, by the way. 6.6 million views, 81,000 likes. Well, the FBI listened to me, baby. And look at this. The FBI has fired the agents who photographed kneeling in the George Floyd protest. And guess who was among them? There you Gotcha. That's great. Everybody cheers. FBI.
Yeah, no. Again, I don't even know if he knows what skills people have at the FBI, period. Like, he doesn't know how it works or who works there or what their job is any more than Kash Patel does or Bongholio does.
Agents photographed kneeling during George Floyd racial justice protest. Look at how they still do this. Racial justice. You go kill a bunch of people and burn our nation's capital to the ground. We'll call that justice. Way to go. Anyway, there are conflicting reports, however, that are not as sunny or cheery as that one that I just gave you. Everybody.
That's not sunny or cheery. You're just weirdly fixated on that. It's an odd thing. It's almost like you don't like women in a pathological way.
One of the George Floyd kneelers to get fired. This, ladies and gentlemen, just published in the New York Post from Miranda Devine. Now, I know Miranda Devine.
Uh-huh. Yep, she wrote the completely flaccid, useless, impotent Hunter Biden books.
I know Kash Patel.
Also a dipshit, incapable of operating at the job he has, and incapable of even understanding the complexity of the jobs, and has basically shown up at crime scenes to sniff rocks and steal valor.
Dan Bongino.
It's pronounced Bongholio. He's looking for a teepee for his bunghole.
This is going to be a tough one. How about
No, it isn't.
this? I'll just pitch it straight down the middle. I'll just tell you what's going on, because this report is tough for Kash and Dan. According to a report,
You don't say.
the FBI is
Maybe that's why Kash is crying.
labeled a rudderless ship under Bongino and Patel, concerned more about building their personal resumes. FBI Director Kash Patel is facing withering criticism from an alliance.
Criticism? That's terrible. When I can face a lot of things, but if I have to face criticism, that's when I tap out.
Active duty and retired agents and analysts days after the White House denied media reports that the president was about to fire him. Troubling new report card in the first 6 months of Patel's leadership concludes that he is in over his head.
Teeny tiny little head.
And his deputy, Dan Bongino,
Bongholio.
is something of a clown, according to the alliance, which in two previous reports warned about crippling DEI and politicization of the FBI under the Biden administration.
Yeah, they're on your side by and large.
The Patel-led FBI is described in the 115-page report as a rudderless ship and all effed up. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, okay. All right, okay.
That's what some of these people are saying. I mean, obviously,
It's what, in general, all of them are saying.
there are a lot of FBI agents that clearly, maybe this is run. Who are these the individuals writing the
Nope, those got fired.
report? You don't know exactly.
Yeah, you do.
It's all
If you read the report, you'd know.
anonymous, right?
Nope.
We're going to present both sides of this, obviously.
Obviously. Yeah, you're gonna kiss both sides of his ass.
Patel is described by multiple internal sources as inexperienced, with one saying he has neither the breadth of experience nor the bearing to be FBI director to be successful.
Checks. That tracks overall.
Another source, self-professed Trump supporter, says Patel is not very good, maybe insecure, lacks requisite experience, measured self-confidence to be FBI director. So this is what they're saying, among some other, obviously, lurid gossip. May or may not.
Lurid. And we're not. It's not like Laura Loomer blowing Trump on Air Fart 1. This isn't lurid. It's pathetic.
True. The one that seems to have hit out in the news cycle is about Kash Patel and a jacket. As Kash Patel was forced to wear a woman's jacket.
Well, my God, I didn't realize it was that kinky this whole time. And here I am without a whip sound effect. I don't think I have one. Let's see. No, I probably don't have one. I can't imagine that I would. But do I have a boing? Maybe that'll work. I'll find one. Don't worry. Nope, that's not quite right. I'll get one later. We'll just have to deal with it as we go. But that'll have to work for now.
Because he refused to disembark the FBI jet when they landed in the aftermath of Charlie Kirk's assassination. He didn't have a FBI raid jacket. They found a female special agent's jacket for him.
He insisted on getting one. None of them fit. You're leaving out all the Goldilocks parts of the story. You can't just, you can't just go, they came in and found her asleep in their bed. You got to tell us the whole point where she was trying the porridge and it was too hot and too cold and then just right.
But it did not have any Velcro patches, so he demanded that another agent give him a Velcro patch. So that seems to be the big takeaway here, that Cash didn't have a jacket.
No, it wasn't that he didn't have a jacket. But he wasn't worried about being chilly, you dumb motherfucker.
Threw a tantrum after being issued a woman's jacket.
No, he threw a tantrum before because he didn't get one, and then they had to go find him a woman's jacket.
These are the allegations. Cash Patel, humiliated and explosive 115-page dossier reveals FBI agents really think, that they just effectively say that there's not enough professionalism in the FBI. And
yeah, that's basically, it's just a lack of professionalism. You know what I mean? He's, it's not that he picks his nose at meetings, it's that he rolls the boogers.
And that Cash and Bongino are not up for the
It's pronounced Bongholio. I don't want to have to correct you every time.
job. That's effectively a report. You're welcome to go read the whole thing.
I did.
If you'd like.
You did not?
Obviously, this is, I think the report is right here.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, there you go.
There it is. Just flick right through it.
So it's a pretty long report.
Yeah, it's pretty thorough, I think is the word I would use.
Go for it. FBI Cash Patel and Raid Jacket. All right. The Alliance is what they're calling themselves. Okay.
They don't call themselves the Alliance. It's an alliance between present and former agents and directors or a managerial staff.
Oh, with some better deep state names than this. The Alliance.
You made that up. That's not what they call themselves. They are an alliance. That's the word for them, not...
All right. Cash Patel apparently didn't have his own raid jacket. So this is the big scandal.
Nope. It's one of many indicative scandals. It's particularly pathetic considering he was landing to take care of the Charlie Kirk assassination investigation and lead the manhunt to hunt down the killer by sniffing rocks and taking names.
That he had the wrong jacket size?
No, he did not have the wrong jacket size. A female agent had the right jacket size, and he fucking took it, you dweeb.
He wanted a different jacket? Really?
He didn't want a different jacket.
This is it?
No, read the fucking report.
Fine. So Dan Bongino and Cash Patel have now their own say. Deep state divine strike.
You think Miranda Devine is happy she threw herself in front of the bus for these dipshits? Deep state divine. Wow. So I guess the deep state was going after Hunter Biden that whole time. Yeah? Obviously, you don't think the deep state changes tacks in the middle of an ocean storm, do you?
Again, says Dan Bongino.
Miranda loves attacking our reform agenda with gossipy anecdotes from disgruntled former employees. Nope, current employees related the story to a former employee, and then they verified it with other people. It's in the report if you fucking read it, which Bendover clearly hasn't, and Bongholio hasn't read. She's upset that her reporting keeps falling apart under scrutiny. No, it doesn't. You can always count on Miranda for a timed hit piece when the director and I make big changes. What big change? What, increasing fuck-ups? Miranda prefers the old guard. I don't. Full steam ahead.
Oh, baby, here we go. Miranda loves attacking our reform agenda with gossip.
By the way, I'm just going to enjoy the fact that these assholes are attacking each other. I think we can all take a moment and just bask in that.
The anecdotes from disgruntled former employees because she's upset about that her reporting keeps falling apart under scrutiny.
Well, I read big chunks. I didn't read the whole thing, but I read big chunks of the Hunter Biden books, and they did suck.
You can always count on Miranda for a timed hit piece when the director and I make big changes.
Why? Why? Who does she work for? If she can't be the deep state. She's not in the fucking government, fucko. She's a reporter for the New York Times and an author. Sorry, is the deep state just anybody that's against you? Or that doesn't agree with everything you fucking do? Is that the standard now?
Miranda prefers the old guard. I don't. Full steam ahead. And he tags Miranda Devine. So some people are, obviously saying that Miranda is deep state divine. Miranda Devine's a great reporter. I mean...
Also, no, they didn't, asshole. Can you fucking read? Hold on. Let me back this up. He's like the new Bongholio. Like, we just saw what it fucking said, stupid. Here it is. Deep state divine. There's a question mark there, you tit. That's an oxymoron. Makes zero sense. Miranda's the reporter who's done the most expose in the deep state and the Biden crime family. She's citing whistleblowers who put their livelihoods and some even their lives on the line to speak out against the deep state, I guess, or whatever the fuck. And this fucking dweeb, who could be bench pressed by any female agent, but I credit them with more taste than that. Doesn't even know what fucking punctuation means.
Fine. So some people are, obviously saying that Miranda is deep state divine.
No, they're not saying that. They're saying it doesn't make any fucking sense, stupid. You're looking right at it. God damn, these people are stupid. Read.
Miranda Devine's a great reporter. I mean, I like Miranda a lot. You can say a lot about her, but I don't think she's deep state. She's like the best reporting on Hunter Biden's laptop and
yeah, that's what the other lady who said deep state divine said.
Corruption. But I guess on our show, but everyone's entitled to their opinion, right?
No, she's not talking about her opinion, you dumb motherfucker. She's talking about a report that's going to Congress that was written by people who have risked their fucking lives. Source reporting and analysis of the Federal Bureau of Investigation under the leadership of FBI Director Kash Patel, a pulse check of the first 6 months. 4. The U.S. Senate Committee on the Judiciary. Senator Chuck Grassley, chairman, and the U.S. House Committee on the Judiciary, Jim Jordan, chairman, by the National Alliance of Retired and Active Duty FBI Special Agents and Analysts, November 2025, you dumb motherfucker. That's not her opinion. God damn, these people are fucking stupid. Where did this go? Hold on. I'm gonna make this thing dance all over the place. Whee!
That's my take.
Thank God we came by in time to see Ben Dover's take.
Here, ladies and gentlemen, we have.
By the way, Dover's his maiden name, for the record. I'm not messing with him. That's
Eric Swalwell. This is probably my favorite interaction. So I showed you the bit about the reporting of Cash's jacket. Eric Swalwell says, I don't mind that the FBI director, Kash Patel, had to wear a women's size medium jacket to cosplay somebody in charge. I wish he'd focus on stopping rampant domestic terrorism happening on his watch. From the left, should I be happy that you're acknowledging that there's rampant domestic terrorism? Because there is. As a matter of fact, it's all coming from Eric Swalwell's side with Eric Swalwell's encouragement.
Nope.
Cash's response.
Sorry, when has Eric Swalwell encouraged Antifa violence? Let's just throw that bone in there. And like ever. Just fucking dumb.
Which is spicy. I was looking for a youth large. Domestic terrorism arrests are up 30% this year. Impressive considering I spent 0 days dating a Chinese spy named Fang Fang. Where should I send your women's medium for date night?
Yeah, it's the same thing he said on Laura Ingraham's channel. Yeah, should try harder. Also, by the way, I'm happy that this is what they're spending their time doing.
Okay. All right. Maybe launch an investigation?
Yeah, do that. Yes, I agree with Ben Dover for once. Launch an investigation. Release the paperwork on the Fang Fang investigation and the communications that the FBI sent to Swalwell, how engaged he was with her, what she was up to, and what happened immediately after he was informed that she was Chinese intelligence. And then release the grand jury testimony from the Mueller investigation. You know, for transparency.
Into the Fang Fang spying nightmare with Eric
Yeah, go for it, man. Dig in.
Swalwell dating a Chinese spy, which he did. Getting
No, he didn't.
a staff placed in his office by a Chinese spy, which he did.
She was fundraising. I keep looking for evidence that they knocked boots or that something was going on, other than the fact that she's Asian and she was pretty and they were in a picture together, and that they just assume that, you know, Asian women are sex objects and that's all there is to it. Let's see. So, fair evidence. Let's see. Fang was involved in fundraising for Swalwell's campaigns, helped place an intern in his congressional office. FBI identified her as a Chinese operative, alerted Swalwell about their investigation into her activities in 2015, at which point Swalwell cut off contact with her. Public statements, Swalwell stated he was concerned the information was leaked to hurt him politically. He also said he answered questions from the House Ethics Committee, and the investigation was closed with no finding of wrongdoing. The relationship led controversy. The relationship led to political controversy and was used by Republicans to remove Swalwell from the House Intelligence Committee. As well as American Enterprise had a close relationship. That's not a relationship. House Ethics concludes Swalwell probe link. Here you go. Yeah, there you go. Good old Republicans. There you go. House Ethics concludes Swalwell probe into link to Chinese spy taking no action. No relationship, no dating, no boot knocking, nothing lurid.
Maybe that.
Go for it. Yeah. Reopen the whole thing. Waste your fucking time. Do it. Nobody cares.
Gentlemen. Also, is Kash Patel saying he's going to dress Eric Swalwell for his date with a Chinese spy? I don't know.
No, because Swalwell, I'm guessing, probably wears a men's large. So that's, just to clarify, I'm fairly certain that's Kash Patel offering a Chinese spy a jacket that says they're FBI.
FBI spokesperson Ben Williamson. Kash and Dan took over the agency with an approval rating below 40%. Knowing that, they came in as
I don't you reading other people's shit.
And violent crime is down, and that they're working to fix it. Right?
Yeah, they're working to fix it. Although they have nothing to do with that, unless it's is serial murder down? Have they arrested more serial killers than ever before? No. I'm getting fucking bored with this dickhead. And I've got too much other stuff to cover. Hit that like, share the show, etc., etc., etc. They are, let's see. This one. Oh, yeah, I wanted to show you this one real quick. The Charlie Kirk show goes on, kind of like Breitbart still goes on after all this. By the way, hit the like, share the show, etc., etc., etc. Blake Neff and Tyler Bowyer are hosting the show now, and I don't know if I don't know, whatever. I don't know if they're eventually going to put the show to bed. It's like Diamond and Silk is still Diamond and Silk, even though Diamond died of COVID and whatever the shit. Let's see. Thank you, Karen and Anita from True Blue Politics. They made a donation to the College Educational Charitable Foundation in memory of my dad. That's so awesome. Thank you guys. Fuck. I was holding it together. All right, let me finish this and then be all right. I've got to finish a hard out at 5 because Summer and I are going to dinner because we need. She made a reservation at a restaurant 6 months ago and we forgot that it's tonight. Yesterday she's like, oh shit. So this is red states at risk. Blake and Tyler warn, build the machine now. Now, I want you to listen for parallels in this part of the conversation that sound an awful lot like what I've been saying, and it shows that my plan is to be proactive, and this shows that they are worrying, considering this is from the side that has the House, the Senate, and the presidency.
Maximize our opportunity right now to benefit the rest of the country. And Indiana is one of the very few places where you can make that argument that is a through and through, top to bottom red state.
Yeah, just you have to. It's Charlie talked about this in Right Wing Revolution. A lot of successes. We have to win back purple states, but also in red states, maximize the value of your red states.
Yeah.
And Tennessee's still red. Use Tennessee the way the Democrats use California, and use Florida, Texas. While you have these advantages, they're large states. They can. They have the GDP of large European countries.
Yep.
Use that.
Yeah, that's not Indiana or Tennessee.
Before we go, another way you can get involved if you're at the grassroots. If you're attending America Fest, AmFest, just 3 weeks from now, great opportunity to meet people from...
This is so fucking creepy. They leave his seat empty on purpose, like they don't sit in Charlie Kirk's seat. It just sits there like Elijah. It's really fucked up. But I'd like to point out specifically that these guys are... they're talking by the maximize your red state thing. That's the same turning blue districts bluer problem that I've been railing against. It's a waste of fucking time. And I hope they do it. I hope they start primarying the shit out of their own Republicans. And that's why a lot of Republicans are stepping down, because they're facing primary challenges from maggots who are unpopular in general and have no hope of statewide office, but could probably hold down a congressional district that leans right just by being further right. But it won't benefit them. It won't change the voting trajectory of that district at all. But it requires a lot of fucking money to spin your wheels like this. It's like primarying in seats that are secure, just for the sake of doing it, is like entering a peloton into the Tour de France. God damn, that's a good analogy. I'm gonna high five myself on that one. That's the problem with like patting yourself on the back for like, we made the blue district bluer. They're going to be focused on making red districts redder. Knock yourself the fuck out. Do it. Waste your fucking time. Waste your fucking money. You know, have a bunch of infighting and purity tests and backbiting horse shit. Do it. Thanks, CSL. That's a nice gif. I like it. Yeah, it's idiotic. It's a waste of energy, especially when they have as narrow a margin in the House and Senate as they do. And a narrow margin between, a living president and a not living one in terms of health that they have with Trump. That's the only goal. Red districts purple, purple districts blue. And if you can, in the meantime, if you can jump the middle step and go right from red to blue, fucking do it. But anybody who's like, we're going to primary this imperfect Democrat and really show them what's for, you are exactly why nobody's afraid. The right doesn't fear the Democratic vote, even though there's more of us. That's why, because they're like, yeah, you got a fucking flimsy support base. Your base will run for the fucking hills. Yeah, they think it's a mandate. The only goal for the DNC, for the Democratic National Senatorial Committee, DNSC or whatever it is, the Democratic Party, the only job, you got one fucking job. Red districts purple, purple districts blue. That's it. Okay, so these guys, and let these assholes make the mistake. All right, now I want to go to like everybody gathering around Gramps while he hides his hands and his cankles from the public. Notice he they don't start their camera at the White House until he's already sitting and everybody's around him. It's good. Shades of Roosevelt.
Buddy, thank you very much.
Hey, buddy, I just woke up from a nap. That's why my hair looks like I fell asleep on the couch.
All set? Well, we're talking about cafe standards, a very big deal. Very
Yes, we're talking about polluting again. Make pollution great again.
important today. My administration is
M-Piggy.
taking historic action to lower costs for American consumers, protect
And raise pollution.
American auto jobs, and make buying a car much more affordable for countless American families and also safer. We're
Safer? Okay, by the way, can I just say that a lot of countries that we would want to sell our cars to have higher standards than we do? Europe, Japan, they all have higher environmental standards than we do. So if you're lowering the cafe standards for it, what are you going to do? Just allow them to sell those cars to Europe, the higher level ones, and then sell lower level ones to Americans?
terminating Joe Biden's ridiculously burdensome, horrible cafe
Horrible.
standards that imposed expensive restrictions and all sorts of problems, gave all sorts of problems.
Yeah, all sorts of problems. Like the car companies were just, they had difficult holidays. They weren't able to call their mom and have that really crucial conversation. They got an odd rash.
To automakers. And we're not only talking about here, we're talking about outside of our country, because nobody could do it. Nobody wanted to do it, and it was ridiculous.
Huh?
Expensive.
Sorry, you're going to force higher pollution standards on other countries?
It put tremendous upward pressure on car prices, combined with the insane electric vehicle
Yeah, quality will do that.
mandate. Biden's burdensome regulations helped cause the price of cars to soar more than
It's just he's just reading from Project 2025.
25%. And in one case,
You mean Project 2025%.
they went up 18% in 1 year. Today, we're taking one more step to kill the Green New scam. It's part of the greatest scam, probably, well, other than Russia, and a few others I could name. The greatest scam in American history, the Green New scam. And it's a quest to end the gasoline-powered car. This is what they want.
Yeah, it's just commie plot to end gas-powered cars because they want a world like Rush warned us about in Red Barchetta. My uncle has a country place that no one knows about.
To do, even though we have more gasoline than any other country by far.
We have oil reserves, I think. Maybe we use more gasoline than most countries.
And people want the gasoline car. They want everything. They want electric. They want to have lots of alternatives. But
That's right. I want a solar-powered car, but so I can drive up and down the coast. Driving the whale's insane. And I want license plate that says BRDKLR. 1.
they do want the gasoline car. Right now, it's leading away by a lot.
It's leading away by a lot? Okay, good to know. It's in a big hurry, is it? I mean, electric cars do have quicker pickup.
The car business is a very interesting business, but we
It is. Tell us all about it.
want to keep it that way. I want to thank Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, Deputy Transportation Secretary Stephen Bradbury, as well as CEO of Ford, Jim Farley. Jim, where is Jim? Let's see. Hi, Jim. Congratulations. You're doing a great job.
Congratulations, Jim. I just saved you a few $1 billion. You should go right back to your office and send some crypto into my son's account.
CEO of Stellantis, Antonio
Stellantis.
Filosa. Thank you very much, Antonio. Chairman of the National Automobile Dealers Association, Tom Castrita.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Tom. Great to have
Here.
you. And manager of
Bueller. Look, that guy is very excited to be there.
General Motors.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm wearing my Trump tie, sir. Yes. Yes. Do you need somebody to rub your cankles, sir? Maybe I could give you a hickey on the other side of your other hand, so the bruise doesn't stand out. I'll suck your hand, sir. That's what I'm here to do.
Orient Plant, John Urbanek.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Great to have you guys here. And you're going to say a few words in a minute about how ridiculous this was, but we've just freed you up. So you're going to have a good day. You're going to have a good number of years. Thanks as well to Senator Shelley Moore Capito, Ted Cruz, Kevin Kramer, Marsha Blackburn, Eric Schmidt, and Bernie Marino, as well as Representative Sam Graves, Vern Buchanan, Mike Kelly, Roger Williams, Lisa McClain, and Troy Balderson. All great people. These are great people.
They're great people. They're on my list of great people. It says great people right at the top.
I know there's a lot of support
Hiding that right hand entirely.
beyond the people that are here. We had tremendous
Like not even
support.
putting it on the fucking desk much. Keep an eye out. Let me know if he actually does it.
From day one, I've been taking action to make buying a
like if
car
he's-
more affordable. I signed an executive order to end the unfair, expensive electric vehicle mandate. As you know, we had to have an electric car within a very short period of time.
Yeah, but I think you couldn't sell them by 2030 with a pad for like the next 5 years.
Even though there was no way of charging them and lots of other things. It would have cost $5 trillion to build the charging plants.
Nope.
And as you know, in certain parts of the Midwest, they spent, to build 9 chargers, they spent $8 billion. So that wasn't working out.
No. There's a fucking gas station in like, is it Prim, like on the border of Nevada and Las Vegas, right before you get there, like at this, there's like a row of superchargers. Obviously he's talking about like the research to see if they could withstand different types of weather. They did it in the Midwest because it rains, because it snows. They get, like, that sounds like a test lab number.
Well, that was done before me, by the way. I wouldn't have let it
Done any of the research, you would have just let them, we'll find out later that if they get rained on, they explode.
go forward. We're canceling the EPA's absurd tailpipe emission standards, one of the most important things that I've never had a group of people come to me more.
He says this a lot. Like industry people coming to him and going, can you get rid of this thing for me, this regulation, which costs me a lot of money and I don't really give a fuck about, that might save lives, but it's a pain in the ass, and I have to pass the cost on to the customers, and they don't even, if we remove it under the table, nobody will know it's gone, and if somebody dies from it, we'll just pretend it didn't happen. He gets calls about, like, there's a bunch of groups that have called him Israeli Americans at one point. That's where he got the whole, like, Jews in America have more allegiance to Israel than they do the United States, that whole thing. Like, I never had a group of people call me more than these people. It's like, what, by the week, like when they're setting this kind of thing up and they know he's going to come out and sign this piece of paper, they'll have all the people from this industry call him and kiss his ass. Like, this is becoming a pattern.
More powerfully and really just devastated that they had to do it.
Yes, they were weeping. Strong man, tears in his eyes.
Killing them. Then the automobile manufacturers, the tailpipe emission standards. And I can tell you, your people at Ford were coming to me all the time, and they were saying, like, please, it doesn't do anything, and it's killing us.
It doesn't do anything. It just keeps, heavy metals and other toxins out of the air and, makes the air breathable. And we don't give a shit about that. I mean, I live uphill from a gated community. I've got an electric car.
And it's driving the cost through the roof. And we revoked Biden's emissions waiver for California so that California communists could not regulate the automobile industry and ruin the entire nation of automobiles. And they were doing that too. But
Yes, they were ruining the entire nation of automobiles. They were doing that. I mean, the great ruining the nation of automobiles act of 2021.
we have that now under control also with your governor, who's got much more than he can control. Now, under the new rules being issued today by Secretary Duffy, the Department of Transportation will rescind.
By the way, I got to say, some of his attacks at Gavin Newsom have lost a lot of steam. He does have a real problem, and this is a note to Democrats in the next election cycle. He really does have a hard time attacking white guys, especially good-looking white guys with power, no matter what. even if they're, if he sees them as an equal or almost an equal, it's hard for him. He was even, that's why he said a lot of like, you know, I don't even know if Biden's doing this stuff. It's the people around him, right? The same thing is true of Gavin Newsom. Like, he'll call him Gavin Newsom, and then the minute he gets, you know, in front of him, he's like, hi, you're pretty. Right.
The Biden fuel economy prices, and I hate to say that because they were really not economy. They were really, they were anti-economy. They were
un-economy.
They were horrible. What they were
horrible economy.
Going to the cost.
Horror economy. They were
Lahara. I swallowed a bug.
And actually making the car much worse.
Much worse? How could they be worse? What?
But these policies forced.
By the way, how do emission standards, like making them better, make a car worse? Like, he talks about it makes it like less safe or something like that. Like, you know, who's it worse for? People who try to commit suicide in their garage? What the fuck?
Automakers to build cars using expensive technologies that drove up costs, drove up prices.
Yeah, like airbags.
And made the car much worse. The action is expected to save.
How does it make the car much worse? I don't even know what the fuck that
the
means.
typical consumer at least $1,000 off the price of a new car. And we think.
Yeah, who kids if 100,000 kids go to the emergency room with asthma attacks because of pollution directly from car tailpipes? Yeah, who cares?
Substantially more than that. Under the Trump administration, $70 billion are now being invested in the American auto industry. Ford has announced it will invest $5 billion across its Kentucky and Michigan plants. Is that a correct statement?
That's right.
That's a lot, $5 billion. You could do more. Creating at least 4,000 new jobs. Stellantis announced it will invest $13 billion to expand its U.S.-based manufacturing by more than 50% and open new manufacturing facilities across the country. And I think a big part of that is also the tariffs. Because of tariffs, they're coming in. Not only the automobile industry, AI, we're leading China in AI.
All right, whatever. I was like, where is he going with this? And I was like, oh, nowhere. Okay.
We're leading everybody in AI. We're leading everybody in everything. We have the hottest country.
Does it say that on the paper? Did ChatGPT write this?
Right now, I will tell you, a lot of political people behind me, great political people, very successful political people.
You mean senators?
We have the hottest country anywhere in the world.
Oh dear. He's going to talk about how, like, MBS said it.
A year ago, we had a dead country, and now we have the hottest country anywhere.
A dead country with the lowest unemployment in 60 years, and lower grocery prices.
World, and it started from November 5th, but it also started when we did the tariffs, and we've had tremendous support on the tariffs. It's bringing in trillions of dollars of wealth. It's bringing in national security. And I've stopped 8 wars, and of the 8 wars, 5 of them have been because of tariffs and trade. So they're very important. And General Motors plan.
So they weren't that serious about fighting then? Like, if money can solve the problem, it's...
To invest $4 billion.
Which 5, by the way? I know he thinks India and Pakistan.
Brings its manufacturing back to the United States from Mexico. After falling by 5% under Biden, U.S. auto production has surged by 10% so far this year. You know, I won the auto workers vote, but now even the head of the auto workers said Trump is the greatest president we've ever seen. And he happens to be right about that. But we're protecting our auto workers.
It's like a toddler. It's like it reminds me of that in the was it the Twilight Zone movie or Creep Show? I think it was the Twilight Zone with the kid who had the power to destroy everyone, and so everyone was just afraid all the time, and like they would just applaud everything he said, and whatever show he wanted to watch was the funniest thing ever.
And we're making it easier for every family to afford high quality cars.
Again, this is an executive order. It doesn't actually mandate anything. It doesn't like.
In other words, we're bringing automobiles back and the manufacturing of automobiles back into this country. We lost 52% over the years, 52% of our automobile manufacturing. You see it, closed factories all over the place. Now they're all opening up.
No, they're not.
They're being, in most cases, they're being knocked down. and new ones are being built in there.
I see. That's why. Okay, I was wondering why I wasn't seeing these factories reopening, and it turns out they're being demolished. They're gonna reopen though. Trust me, bro.
Place, and a big beneficiary is the state of Michigan, but South Carolina, even states that didn't really do too much with the automobiles, they're opening up plants. It's been amazing. So between automobile plants, AI plants, and plants of every other nation, really.
I have a potted AI plant in my windowsill. It's just yap, 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 feed me. You know, just wants energy all the time. Feed me, Seymour. Feed me all night long. It's summertime. You know, it's just like, come on, dude, learn another song.
The other type, including chips. We're going to have a big percentage of the chip market very soon, not because of the CHIPS Act, which was horrible and ridiculous, where we just
which paid for all this.
Gave these companies billions and billions of dollars, and they just kept the money. But because of what
they just kept it, they didn't spend it. None of these factories are all being built for free. We're importing slave labor again. Congratulations.
We did with tariffs. They have to build here, otherwise they're going to have to pay tariffs. They won't be able to do business in the United States.
Yeah, but you got to have carrot and stick, and obviously the carrot is the Chips and Science Act, and also the rules were put in place by the Chips and Science Act about what they could make outside the country for national security purposes.
We're going to have a big percentage of the chip industry. As of about a year ago, 2 years ago, we had none. And now we're going to have a very big percentage when it all finishes out. So I'd like to ask Secretary.
Gee, it's so we had none, and then the Chips and Science Act started, and then we started having it.
Secretary Duffy to speak, and then Mr. Farley, and then Filosa and Urban.
Is he down at Van down by the river? All right, hold on one second. I'm going to skip the remarks because I don't care about like the ass kissing. And then does he answer questions?
Stolen from us because we have people that didn't know what they were doing sitting at this desk. They put the wrong people in because they weren't advised properly. And this is really an incredible thing that's happening. Go ahead, Kevin.
Well, thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah, he brought the hand out to point, but then he puts it back here.
And I think in many respects, pretty much everything that could be said has been, except that I think what Kevin talks about in terms of the cascading economic opportunity from this one single event is just the tip of the iceberg. When you think of all...
Yeah. I mean, it's not obviously going to solve anything on its own. It's just the tip of the iceberg. Wait till we get the other stuff done. Then it's going to kick ass.
All the rules and regulations that you have repealed, I think it's more important, frankly, than the tax cuts. However, in the Working Family Tax Cuts Act, remember we made permanent a lot of really...
The big bullshit bill. That's what they're calling it right now, the Working Families Tax Cut Bill.
From the first Trump era, not the least of which for small businesses is bonus depreciation. The opportunity to depreciate the year that you purchase an F-150 for your small business or a large truck for your...
Or a yacht or a private airplane.
For your farm. I just think we're going to roll into 2026 and we're going to see an escalation of economic opportunity, the likes of which I probably have never seen.
I think nobody's ever seen it, nobody in the world, because there's never been 18 or whatever it ends up being. In 10 months, we have $18 trillion being invested. We never had $1 trillion being invested. And Biden had much less than that. Think of it. He had less than $1 trillion over...
During, the recovery from COVID.
4 years. We have 18 trillion in 10 months, and it's actually as of 9 months. So there's never been anything. Eric?
Yeah, Mr. President, thank you.
You're the tallest guy here. I'm only interested in talking to the tallest of the people in this group.
And on behalf of the people of the great state of Missouri, who we actually make things from F-15s to F-47s now, thanks to you. We'll be building the F-47 and then F-150s. And those are real jobs. And we make things in Missouri. This is going to go a long way, I think, for making things more affordable for normal.
Well, you don't make a decent education system, and you certainly don't make, I guess, a lot of tax revenue, since your entire state suckles on the teat of New York and California.
People, nothing could be more American than driving a car on a highway, and this is going to make that more accessible.
Nothing? Not serving in the armed forces, being an astronaut? Dedicating yourself to discovering a cure to a disease, just driving on a highway. That's the most American thing you could do. All right. Cool story, bro.
So thanks for your leadership.
Your state's doing a great job.
Yeah, well, they love you too.
It's a great place.
Your state's a great place. I'm not going. No.
Thank you. Please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to
Thank you, whoever you are.
talk to you just a minute from a rural perspective,
Okay.
because these CAFE standards were absolutely unworkable in rural Missouri. We need vehicles that are practical and affordable and can haul for our small businesses, for agriculture, and it just simply didn't work. Those CAFE standards didn't work. So I applaud you and Secretary Duffy for your hard work and what you're doing on behalf of rural America.
Sorry, the CAFE standards would raise the price of it $1,000, but you can write off the bonus and depreciation on that vehicle forever anyway. So if it went up $1,000 over the course of a few years, as far as the cost of that vehicle, you're getting to write off the entire thing from a rural farmer perspective. And anyways, fuck you talking about? 0 times 0 is 0.
Well, it was keeping a lot of manufacturers out of our country too. They said, "We're not going to." Are you crazy? They thought outside manufacturers thought we were absolutely insane.
Well, that's mostly because they saw your haircut. What the fuck is happening?
With all of the different things.
Seriously, that is some Benny Hinn level shit right there.
Just made up nonsense.
You guys remember? Hold on. You guys remember Benny Hinn? Hold on. Oops. Yeah, one of the most. Yeah, here is a good. It's a good version of it. Open image in. Let's see, where is it? Here we go. This is this Benny Hinn. That's a fucking straight up. That's peak Benny Hinn. But that level comb over that takes a lot of work. That's amazing. That looks like it was designed by the guy that did the Sydney Opera House. Yeah. So, all right, let me go back to this. All right, and I'm gonna do a little bit more of this, but then I have to show you something because I only got a few minutes left.
It's like made up. It was really made up by people that hate our country. I really believe.
And love our citizens who don't want to live in smog.
Anybody else have anything to say?
I'd say about two quick things, Mr.
Oh, go.
President.
Bernie, I didn't see you.
Two quick things I think are really important. So the person who sat behind this desk before you gave $7,500 in subsidies to multi-millionaires who are leasing electric Rolls Royces, electric Porsches, electric Lamborghinis. We're getting $7,500 from the taxpayer. And these Democrats sit on this floor and say that Republicans are for millionaires and billionaires.
Asshole, everybody got that same subsidy. It was for electric cars. And they wouldn't feel a dent in it. If that was a third of your car in terms of like a $30,000 electric car versus a $400,000 car, who gives a shit? All you then just say we should give those electric car subsidies to people below a certain income threshold. Say that in front of a bunch of other fucking Republicans. Anyways, let me show you this next one, and then we got it. I don't want to run out of time. This is the dipshittery. I need to know who this like sycophant is who follows these assholes around. Who's like, you guys are awesome. You're the best. Hey, who are you? Just a guy. And scene. The title of this one says it all. Please get ready to buckle up. Get ready to enjoy this. I gotta say, this is just the title of this one. It's a treat from me to you, CSL to me to you, because he passed it along. And I can't tell you, like, some days when I see the videos that come through, I'm like, ugh, more of this shit. I thought I'd asked and answered this, Your Honor. But then there are some things where you're just like, oh, that's nice. It does look like a Martin Short character between them, absolutely. You ready? You ready to see the title? NASDAQ tells Trump crypto partner Alt 5 Sigma it no longer meets listing requirements. Here's why. Probably because they partnered with these dipshits?
Hi, everybody. I'm Brittany Lewis, a breaking news reporter here at Forbes.
Hi.
Joining me once again is my colleague, Forbes staff writer, Zach Everson. Zach, thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me back.
We've talked
This is a nice edit.
about Alt 5 Sigma before, and this is the fintech company that struck the billion-dollar deal with World Liberty Financial.
Yes. Which, it should be a warning to investors in it that the fit was about to hit the shan.
The crypto venture associated with the Trumps.
Mm-hmm. And let me guess. It went awesome, and everybody came out on top, and it was amazing. It's the best ever.
You have new reporting on Alt 5 Sigma, and I think that the easiest way to break this down would be in chronological order.
And emphasis on the word down.
So let's go back to October. You reported then that the firm's CEO was suspended by the board.
Was it his decision to partner with Don and Eric?
Then in November, you reported an inconsistency surrounding the timing of when the CEO was placed on temporary leave, and that could have violated SEC rules.
Yeah, but I mean, who runs the SEC right now? Trump will decide whether it violates SEC rules. Just pfft.
Now you're reporting that yet another filing discrepancy could also violate SEC rules.
If there are any SEC rules at this point, who really knows?
This instance has to do with the timing of the accountant leaving. So, start off the conversation, what exactly did Alt 5 Sigma...
What the fuck?
...tell the SEC?
So this is what got interesting. Alt 5 Sigma, back about a month or so ago, informed the SEC that it could not file its quarterly...
By the way, who else thinks that these assholes wanted to name this thing Alt-Right Sigma, and, you know, based on the sociopathic man that runs the thing for the alt-right, Alt-5, I'm a Sigma male.
Report on time for a variety of reasons that have been laid out in a previous filing, and also that there had been delays associated with its accountant. So I was writing an article on the fact that they could not file this quarterly report on time. This was before Thanksgiving. So in the course of my reporting, I reached...
Was that due to actual literacy problems by all the people involved? If you gave them plastic numbers, is there a danger that they will harm themselves with them?
Out to the accountant and said...
While trying to decide which way they go?
Hey, Alt 5 Sigma says there's a delay with your report. What's going on here? And the accountant said something I was not expecting, which was, I stopped working for them.
I quit.
In August.
Just under the table. Just the accountant for this company that is partnered with the Trumps quit in August. Is that when they formed the deal?
That really struck out because they were the last accountant on record for any of their filings.
So they don't have any accountants. This sounds more and more like a Trump endeavor every day.
I then reached back out to Alt 5 Sigma saying like, hey, you know, I sent you all these...
Hey, do you guys actually have an accountant?
Questions about what delays your accountant might be responsible for.
If indeed you have one.
Let's step that back a little bit. Who actually is your accountant? And the response came, we don't want to comment on that at this time.
Yeah, they don't have one.
Which was interesting for...
Yes, very.
Such a, what you think would be a simple question to ask a public company.
Yeah, funny.
On that. So this happened before Thanksgiving. I was working on it. I took some time off. I had some turkey. I had some stuffing. I saw my family. I was going to work on this when I came back. Over the Thanksgiving holiday, though, on that Friday, Black Friday, after the market closed, Alt 5 Sigma submitted a filing saying, hey, our accountant told us all of a sudden in November that he was retiring effective immediately. We don't have an accountant. We're working to fix that. Yeah, that really didn't quite...
That's a lie.
...jive with what the accountant...
It's a lie. It's actually a lie.
...told me. So you've got another example of...
A lie? It's a great example of a lie.
Sigma telling the SEC one thing in a date, in this case that, their accountant retired in November. And then you've got the accountant saying...
Retired in November, of course, is a standard business euphemism for quit in August. That's what you say in business. It's a part of the Harvard MBA program is, you learn cute little phrases like he retired in November means he quit in August.
He actually told them in July he was going to stop working for them in August, and he's actually not retiring. He's just getting out of the line of business of auditing public companies.
For illegal reasons, or?
I guess my next question for you would be,
what the fuck?
Who's lying here? Is it Alt 5 Sigma telling the SEC, hey, our accountant just essentially up and left and we're out of luck here when it comes to filing this third quarter report? Or is the accountant lying and didn't really leave months ago?
Are you trying to get us sued? I'm going to walk around that one. We don't know. I don't have any reason to believe that the accountant would have made this sort of stuff up. He said he didn't have anything in writing. He said he spoke to the person who was then the CFO.
Whoa, hang on. They had one accountant at this company and they didn't have a contract with him. So he was just like, he was just working freelance? What?
Who's no longer with the company, and that he verbally told them, and he said, I gave them plenty of notice. Now you've got Alt 5 Sigma saying November. Now they have to report something like this within 4 business days. So they couldn't have reported in November and said, oh yeah, hey, our accountant, he left in August. That's problematic. So
it's illegal.
I don't know. I don't know exactly what the disconnect happened there, why we have those 2 different dates, but the accountant was adamant. He let them know.
Was Eric anywhere near the building? Was there concrete being laid? And by that, I don't mean poured out into, in a form of a sidewalk. I mean, was Eric Trump anywhere near there sticking his dick in some wet concrete?
Back before the filing of their second quarter report.
And typically, why would a company not file their quarterly report? Is there any indication that this is just perhaps sloppiness, perhaps an oversight, or something more?
No, the reason that Alt 5 Sigma gave in its initial filing that there was going to be a delay and saying they needed a few extra days to do it.
A few extra.
Was they listed a whole bunch of issues that they had going on. They referenced the filing, rather, that listed a whole bunch of issues. Amongst them, there was a problem. The former CFO we were talking about is going through personal bankruptcy issues.
Why wouldn't I think? Why wouldn't that, of course, be that? Of course, I mean, the Trump guys just they just work with the dude. So why? It's silly of me not to even think immediately that they would, of course. He would be going through personal bank. He just signed a deal with the shit. The Trumps, there's no way that funny.
That involves some warrants from the company. A subsidiary has had issues in Rwanda.
Rwanda. Why does that name jump? Why would Trump have an impetus to deal with Rwanda in terms of trade? And
He changed up the amount of votes that are required to have a quorum. So there are a whole bunch
to 0
of issues that were laid out in the previous filing. So we don't know. And I mean, they did say they are having delays involving their accountant. And, if they don't have an accountant, that's probably true. They are having delays because they don't actually have an accountant.
I do want to take a step back here even further. When you're looking at a quarterly report, what information is typically in there and how vital is it for a company?
Oh, it's interim financial information. It's something that's supposed to be very important for investors to decide whether they want to own part of this company or not. It's a major factor. You will hear this throughout, the investment news where, this company's coming, it's releasing its earnings. You see this huge news with, Apple and Nvidia, companies that are much bigger than Alt 5 Sigma, but it is a major force there that can massively move markets. Again, not with a company of this size, but it is a major issue. It's one of the few times that companies actually have to report this kind of stuff publicly.
And Alt 5 Sigma told the SEC that the accountant left a certain date. The accountant tells you he left a different date. It's more than 4 days apart, well more than 4 days apart. Can they get in trouble, Alt 5 Sigma, for this discrepancy? And or can they get in trouble for not filing this report on time?
They can get into trouble for both of those based on reading the SEC rules and also speaking to a couple of experts in financial law. And that, submitting information that is materially false is problematic. also not informing them in time is an issue. Now, whether any of this gets enforced is another matter. It seems like the SEC under Donald Trump is not really doing a lot of enforcement in general.
Yeah, especially of businesses that his sons have a relationship with. The important thing, I think, is, is this one. This was up, and this really sets the tone on this one. And I'll just leave you with this one, along with Trump's poll numbers being complete bullshit, and the panic running through the right that's saying they've got to secure right-wing districts that they already have, and make them more aligned with the president for fear that those people will drift as he continues to hide the Epstein files, which we'll get more into tomorrow, by the way. Hit that like, share the show. It's Hal Sparks, Megaworldwiide. I gotta go. That rhymed. I was very proud of that, actually. In chat room, thank you guys so much. Don't forget to hit the like, share the show, subscribe. Become a member, patreon.com/HalSparks. There's the Venmo if you want to support the show that way. I appreciate you guys. Obviously, I took a ginormous financial hit being away, because this is a time to make the donuts kind of a business, if you know what I mean. I'm only really making hay while the sun shines, as it were. So appreciate all the support you guys can give me. If you can't in any way, just do all the free stuff and don't worry about it. I want you guys to know that I appreciate the time that you give. That in and of itself is an incredible gift. So thank you so much, and I will see you guys later on. I'll let you know how this place is. I'm going to have a giant piece of steak. I'm already excited, especially because I'm basically eating nothing but sardines right now because I got a little under the weather and I'm replenishing myself that way. All right, much love. Where's this? Okay, this button. This should do it, right? Thank you guys so much. Twitch folks, let me see some emojis. Hype train. Thank you guys for subscribing. Appreciate it, you guys. Oh man, that's amazing. Especially on Twitch, if you have Amazon Prime, it doesn't cost you a dime. Sometimes people have that around the holidays. You can help out that way. We're almost at 90,000 subscribers. We're getting there. We can make it. Hit it.